Recorded in a garage by Two Smooth Cats. It's time for a Shootin' the Bowl with Drew and Wade. Drew and Wade. Shootin' the Bowl with Drew and Wade.
Welcome to yet another episode of Shootin' the Bowl with Drew and Wade. I'm Drew.
I'm Wade.
And in this episode, normally we just start off with a topic and just see where that goes. It could go anywhere.
Could go
Wherever
nowhere.
it leads us. Yeah, exactly. So tonight's topic we're starting off with is bands that replaced their lead singer at some point in time for whatever reason, and whether it be death or they just got just bad.
Right.
But so we're going to start off with I just randomly picked a list of 30 on a Google search from diffuser.fm, and it's 30 bands that replaced their lead singer. Some we might not have heard of, and we're just going to move on from them. Obviously, we have nothing to say.
Yeah. No.
So we'll at least give them some recognition.
Yeah.
And
Good job for replacing your lead singer.
Yeah.
And then the one who
Well
was
done.
sadly at death, then all sound like a jerk.
And
But,
then
you know.
and then they show pictures side by sides of the replacements, and I'm gonna
Ooh.
they look kind of similar.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's maybe we'll just go off of they just picked them because they look the same and kind of sound the same.
Maybe. You never know.
Like a band. This is a shout out to one of my pages on Facebook, to Amy, like Ghost, for instance. Maybe they're on here, but their singer has changed 3 times, and they always wear face paint, and it always looks the same. And
Jeez.
so as long as they sound the same or similar, then I'm sure they. I'm not a big Ghost fan, so I wouldn't know. Sorry, Amy. But
Don't want to make the ladies mad, especially when they're into metal.
yeah, she's in charge of the page, so
Yeah. You get the old boot.
yeah, exactly. So I guess we'll just mention 10,000 Maniacs, unless you know anything about 10,000 Maniacs. Or,
Dude, 10,000 Maniacs had one of the best MTV Unpluggeds ever,
really?
in my opinion.
Okay.
And I still remember Eat for Two was my favorite song that they did. I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but based on the lyrics and from me gathering this opinion, I think it's about a pregnant woman. Eat
Yeah.
for Two.
Okay.
But yeah, that's one of the ones I remember the most from all of the MTV Unpluggeds that I've seen, man. It was a really
that's
good
cool.
one. I can't remember the singer's name, but she ended up going solo and still did some good solo stuff. But
Natalie Merchant.
Natalie Merchant,
Yes.
yes, and she had this way of moving, like when she dances, kind of this sway. It was almost like it was a sexy female version of the Axl Rose dance that he does. You know how he just kind of does that. Yeah, it was like a sexy female version of that. But yeah,
Okay.
but I mean, I know I'm not familiar with a lot of their stuff, but I do remember that I saw that one. And,
Well, I mean,
yeah.
just now reading this bio, this short paragraph, and Natalie Merchant. Obviously, I know who Natalie Merchant is. So,
hmm
so yeah, that's cool. 10,000 Maniacs. Didn't even know.
But they replaced her when she went solo.
Yeah, they gave her. Let's see. Departing 93, she's still ignored. Touring member and backing vocalist Mary Ramsey became the new frontwoman.
Mm.
So
I just assumed that they kind of stopped doing their thing or changed their name and did
Yeah.
something without her. I didn't realize they were one that had replaced her.
well, they might not have done nearly as good, and that's why we're talking about bands like this.
Probably. Yep. Yep.
So I have to assume that they were a big flop after she left, and she did pretty well. So
Yeah.
So all right, that's cool. Let's move on to the next band then.
All right. And I can't see who they are, so it's a surprise for me.
Yes,
It's cool.
yeah, I like that. I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But it's Allison Chains.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm sure we both have a little something to say about this.
Kick it off, man. I gotta compose myself.
Yeah, well, my thing with Allison Chains is when I was a kid, you know, obviously Allison Chains was big, and then Lane Stanley died, you know, and
Yeah.
and for me, I didn't fully grasp the whole drug thing and
Right.
you know depression thing and all that then, and didn't really affect me that much until later on in life. And then as I got older, they replaced him with William DeVale, or Duvall. Yeah, Duvall. and, and frankly, I thought when they came out and they like just played, I remember on the radio they just played a cover that he had sung of the original Allison Chains, Lane Stanley, and he did excellent. I mean, it was good. It wasn't as good, obviously, but for someone covering and the band still playing, it sounded good. And then they moved on to new material, and it was terrible. So
yeah.
So yeah, and not to mention, like what you brought up about keeping the same name of the band, even though, if you're going to do that, you better be practically just a cover band in a way. Like, you better just play the Allison Chains songs from when it was Allison Chains, and Lane was alive.
Yep.
But that's all about personal feeling, I guess. But it's our show, and we're going to talk about our personal feelings about it.
Yeah, well, I agree. That's my feeling too, and it actually pisses me off, dude. Because I mean, it is not the same band, and you could also argue that like if any other member leaves, it's still not the same band. That is correct, but any other member isn't necessarily the key to the sound of the group.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, there are some bands where the guitarist leaves and the whole shit show is fucking on, dude. It's like it's no longer good. Yeah, exactly. Shit show is rolled into town. Like Guns N' Roses without Slash, even with Axl, is fucking nothing, dude.
And that's my first concert experience was that. My parents took me to see Doobie Brothers in Chicago playing in that Deer Creek.
Nice.
And we get there and the Doobie Brothers are opening for Chicago for some insane reason. In retrospect. At the time, I was just like, all right, I'm getting to see both of them. But the whole time Doobie Brothers are playing, everybody's up on their seats. You can see, of course, I was a kid and I wasn't partaking in any of this stuff, but you can see people smoking weed and everything else. And,
right.
And everybody's going crazy. And then Chicago comes out. And that's a hell of a build-up. Everybody's jazzed, right? This should be one hell of a show.
Yeah.
Well, they come out, and it was terrible. It sounded nothing like what you hear on an album or anything like that. It's just no other way to describe it but terrible. Everybody was sitting down and was like, oh, my God, like, bring the Doobs back out.
Yeah.
It was horrible. And then that's kind of when you brought up the topic of this a couple weeks ago, to me, that was my first experience, was going and seeing a band where the lead singer was replaced by his brother, and he just wasn't doing the job. Not to mention, half the band was people in like their 30s and 40s when they should be in like their 60s.
Well, I had watched a documentary, a short doc about Doobie Brothers years ago, and if I remember correctly, which I'm pretty sure I do, they had said from their start to their end was 7 years, and at the end of that 7 years, there was not one single original member left in that band. Mm-hmm. And that ain't the fucking Doobie Brothers, because none of them, Well,
that is the Doobie Brothers then. Like, it should never be the same, but sound the same.
Right, right.
But Chicago was terrible. I mean, that guy didn't sound like his brother at all.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm sure they're on the list, but when you said brother, Leonard Skinner.
Oh yeah.
I seen Skinner with his brother, and I mean, it was still a good experience, but it wasn't the same, obviously.
Yeah.
Especially when they start writing new original stuff. I'm just like, I'm one of those where I'm like, remakes, like, of movies. It just, don't touch them, dude. If they're good, don't touch them, dude. Just let it go.
I agree. That's just let it have its own history, but just make sure that you re-release it digitally remastered or whatever it is in 3D, or keep up with the times, but let the newer generation see it.
Yeah. And not to stray from topic at all, let me slip something in real quick when you had said about the build-up to Chicago, and then Chicago's not really jamming kind of band.
It's a
They're
big
more
band.
mellow kind of.
It's
Yeah,
a big band
huge,
sound.
huge.
You know, I mean,
Um,
there's trumpets and sax, and it's a big band sound. It should,
yeah,
you know, it literally should jazz you up.
yeah.
You know?
What freaking? I went to Ninja tour, Nine Inch Nails and Jane's Addiction tour, and freaking, I just assumed that it would obviously be Nine Inch Nails headlining with
Yeah.
Jane's Addiction opening for them, right?
Mhm.
Well, they did a thing where they rotated who headlined, which, I mean, I can see them sharing because they're both great, amazing, popular bands.
Yeah.
But, I mean, just think about that for a second. I saw Nine Inch Nails open for Jane's Addiction. So when Jane's Addiction came on, it's like that roller coaster, and then fucking it just came right down, dude. And it's like, this blows. I'm ready to get the fuck out of here. I saw Nine Inch Nails. They rocked the house. Now here's Jane's Addiction playing one fucking song that anyone in that place knew. Only one song,
Yeah, exactly.
Jane says. You know, I mean...
That's exactly the only song that came to my mind.
Right. But anyway, that was a situation for me one time where the opener just blew the headliner away. But anyway,
awesome.
but yeah, for the Allison Chains, for me, I was such a big fan that for me, when he died, that was it, no matter what. I heard they got a new singer. I've not heard one, not even a cover of Allison Chains with the new singer, because I'm like, I refuse to go. I want my last memories of them to be with Lane.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So,
I agree with that.
that's how I feel about that.
It's sad because a lot of bands ended that way.
Yeah.
All right, next band is Black Flag. You know anything about Black Flag? Let's
No.
see if
That Henry Rollins was the singer for them, I believe. I think that was the band he was.
They're hardcore pioneers, is what it says right here. But yeah, anyway, we don't know anything about them, so we're gonna move on. Blink 182.
Oh, I know a lot about them.
Yeah.
Huge fucking fan, dude.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
No, go ahead.
Well, I've seen them live twice.
Nice.
So I seen them in Indy. It was for the Take Off Your Pants and Jacket album, and they rocked the house down, dude. And it was cool as hell because they come on stage and they're like, I can't remember Tom or Mark or Tom, one of the two said, they look at, they're like, there are a lot of teenagers out there tonight and their parents brought them. And if you thought this was going to be a wholesome show, you're fucking wrong. And then all of a sudden the word fuck in huge fire letters above Travis lights up, dude. And they just rocked that house down, dude.
Yeah.
And they talk in between almost every song. And it's banter between each other. It's picking on Travis. It's, I mean, they interact with the crowd. And then I went over there to see them, and then I wanted to go see them again, so I went 4 days later or something to Columbus and got tickets off a scalper. Both times I ended up down in the pavilion area, or not pavilion area, but the whatever it's
lawn
called.
area?
No, the
The
seats.
seats. That's pavilion.
Is it pavilion?
Yeah, that's pavilion.
All right, yeah.
But yeah, that's Blink for me. Travis Barker is possibly one of the best drummers of our time.
I agree.
And I have a special place for drummers in my heart. My dad's a drummer, and I grew up listening to him play a lot. And he's very good. But he's very good, and he, to me, is a lot of the sound of the band. Other than, I really enjoy the dual lead singer sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really like that. They complement each other well in all the songs, and it doesn't really matter the singer to me. They all sound really good together, and it really didn't change it much for me. I still enjoy him today. I enjoyed him then. I enjoy him now.
You enjoy with the new singer?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I think he's doing a pretty good job. And
See, here's one where we differ, boy. I tell you what. One, because this is a classic example of where they aren't Blink 182 anymore. If they want to replace Tom, that's fine. That's cool, dude.
Yeah.
Do whatever the fuck you want to do. But change your fucking name.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my thing, because now all they're doing is just trying to roll on the success they built with Tom before. I don't know what his deal was, but it seems like maybe he got kind of nutty with all this alien stuff and he thinks the government is literally spying on him or something. So I've heard. I don't know. But it just to me, well, one, I don't like the chemistry with them, with the new guy and Mark. I don't think there's any chemistry there personally. I don't like his voice. I don't like the new songs they've written. But then again, I've been such a huge Blink fan since freaking '98, dude.
That's true.
So, I mean,
it's hard.
It's hard, dude. I'm biased. This is one thing I'm biased on.
To me, it's just they're still writing good music. I've accepted the difference in sound.
So I need to accept it. Then is what you're saying.
No, I'm just saying personally I have, but I just, as long as the lyrics are still, it's not just some stupid pop crap or something like that,
right.
and they still focus on a lot of drum sound instead of it being in the background more, and they still sound good together. I'm with it. But it could only be on the one album I've heard, so
yeah.
Who knows about the next one I hear? You have kids and then you start not listening to newer music. I see how my parents got behind it. I get it. But
well, Travis, I was watching some when I was doing some research for the Paul McCartney episode, which will air sometime and will make your ears bleed with a little bit of audio difficulty. But anyway, so I need to stop focusing on that, but I feel really shitty about that because that was gold. But when I was doing research for that, I came across some Blink-182 stuff and watched some of that. And when Travis joined the band, he started out drumming like the old drummer and like drumming to fit in with them.
Yeah.
And then he had asked him something like, do you think I could try something on this song? And Tom or Mark had said, yeah, dude, do what you want. You're the drummer, do what you want.
Yeah.
He was like, well, that's when he realized that he can do whatever the fuck he wants. And that's when they really started to open up, dude.
I think so, too. I think, I really believe Travis is where it's at right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it's hard to pull up another name at that caliber. I mean, from our generation at least. I mean, there's past drummers that blow him out of water in my mind, but that's in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's move on.
I know I could talk about some of these bands for a whole show.
Well, we got Blind Melon up next.
Yeah, and can we pass them by chance?
I know about Blind Melon, but let's move on.
Yeah.
And then we have the Blockheads.
Never heard of them.
Me neither. And I don't recognize any names, so we're moving on. This is a cool name. Don't know anything about them. Called the Buzzcocks.
I've heard the name, but again, I don't know anything about them either. But it is a good name. Yeah, I like that name.
Yeah. It's a punk band. But yes, the Cars, and then the New Cars. Yeah.
I don't know a lot about them. I know I've heard their songs, but I don't know a lot about them.
But I will have a special mention. Of course, the Cars is an awesome band. But special mention is that they did call themselves the New Cars.
Oh, really? Okay.
So
okay, that's why you did
say,
the.
All
right,
about
now I get it.
the not changing your name thing.
Yeah.
There you go. Right there. The Cars did it.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you? It's the freaking Cars.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I enjoyed the Cars. Didn't matter which singer. So moving on. Oh, the Dead Kennedys.
Jello Biafra is fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
On so many different levels, he's fucking awesome, dude. One of the best things I've ever seen him in wasn't even his show, and he didn't even do that much, was in a live concert of Ministries. And it was, I cannot remember the name of the tour. The name of the video is called In Case You Didn't Feel Like Showing Up Live.
Yeah.
And for that tour, they had chain link fences like 20 foot up in the air around surrounding the stage. They had fire and shit going off. And Jello was up there on stage doing stuff with them, goofing off, had his trench coat on and shit, dude. He read his rendition of the Pledge of Allegiance, which he called, what was it? No, there was a line in there called United Snakes of America,
Yeah.
Pledge Allegiance to United Snakes of America. Oh, dude, but
awesome.
that's ministry. But Dead Kennedys, dude, how could you not just like get down to that shit, man?
Well, I remember my first time ever hearing the Dead Kennedys was in the back of Clint's Cavalier.
Oh, and
Right
that was a hell of a system to hear stuff
Yeah,
in, dude.
and it was awesome.
Hell yeah.
You know, I was like, whoa, what's this? And my brother's like, oh, it's the Dead Kennedys, you know, and I was 13, you know, something like that.
Hell yeah.
And it was mind blowing. I mean, I heard some punk, but it's more mainstream punk. And this was something different, man.
Mm-mm.
I was like, yes, listen to this. And really, I didn't even, until we were reading right now, know that they changed lead singers. So
I didn't either. And he's also responsible for a lot of the freedom of what you can say in music and stuff too. Because back in the day, with whose wife was it that was leading the charge for the censorship stickers on music? One of the politicians' wives, the president's wife, was it, or no? Wasn't Nancy Reagan? She did the just say no shit. But
it's
anyway,
probably Barbara Bush.
It could. No, I don't know.
Seems like a real.
Tipper Gore.
Is the vice president thing?
Well, no, I think it was Tipper Gore maybe who was leading the charge for the censorship. But anyway,
yeah.
And he was like the one who was standing up to her and standing up for the rights of musicians and being able to say sick, disgusting, offensive things if they chose to. And they ended up winning that fight. But he was in court. He was sued quite a few times. And it was some nasty stuff. I've watched some old vids on that.
Yeah, plagued with royalty disputes, lawsuits, accusations.
Yep.
And he's been replaced by Jeff Penalty and then Ron Skip Greer. And he's been singing with the band since 08. So,
no.
But I got to see them live at Warped Tour in Columbus. I got a set of free tickets from one of my buddies. Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh,
dude.
we went sprinting across. That's the only band there I even cared to see. I mean,
right.
And we went sprinting across because we were watching some other band they wanted to watch. And I said, I don't care. I'm leaving. You know, Dead Kennedys are getting ready to play. I'm leaving.
Hell yeah.
You know?
That's awesome.
But yeah, so the next band is Dropkick Murphys.
I've heard of them, and I think I've actually seen them once in Cincy in a little bar or pub or something. But I don't. They're like an Irish punk band or something.
Huh. Well, that's interesting. I can't say I've ever.
I think I have seen. Let me see a pic of Yeah, I think I have seen
this
them.
This is the original guy here. This is the guy after.
I don't know. I think that was them, but I can't say for sure. But I have heard of them before, but I don't know a lot about them.
Okay. Yeah, well, then moving on. Faith No More. I mean, obviously they had what was that? Epic? Was that the song? Something like that. Let's see.
They've had quite a few kick-ass
Epic
albums, but I didn't realize that they ever did any albums or anything without Mike Patton.
Yeah.
Because I know Patton did Mr. Bungle, which was crazy, insane shit. Little solo side project, or not solo, but a side project.
It says here, Faith No More's lead vocalist was a revolving position once occupied by Courtney Love.
Really?
What do you think of that? Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. Talk about learning new stuff every day.
Yeah, that's insane. I'm gonna have to actually look that up.
No, yeah, I want to hear some of that.
Yeah, I was just going for band names and we'd go from there. But that's quite some information right there.
Yeah.
Faith No More with Courtney Love.
Yeah, no shit.
That is something.
Yes, it is.
Something terrible, possibly. Personal opinion, of course.
Yeah. You want to hear something funny? The mic wasn't on that whole time.
No way.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, wow.
So smooth.